Alright, so now I've got the V on both of my eyes the same, and I put a little bit in the center, you know, so it's like half and half. Can you see? They should be even. Do they look even to you?
They look even to me.
Alright. It's not like a huge deal just yet because I'm not done.
Right.
And that just gives a little bit of green. I like having just a little bit right above. Just makes my eyes look more shimmery. Alright, I think I'm gonna go with another color right in the middle. I'm gonna go for this coppery kind of yellow here. I haven't tried it before, so I want to take a look and see what it looks like.
What brand is it?
Oh, this is just like a generic one from you.
Mm.
It's nothing special. Sometimes I pick up new colors just to try them, you know, if they're cheap. And see, that one's really gold. And I'll do that just in the center here. I find that like when your eyes are round, you think about it, and they're round. So when you do it in kind of a round way, like you have to think of your eye as round with your lid. So you do it in multiple shades because the light changes. Right, and I'm gonna blend over it one more time with my original color, that light one. And then undo liner.
Can I see?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You like it?
Mm-hmm. Close it.
Like?
I do. It's really nice.
So it's like that way in the center, even though like I covered it a little bit more with the lighter one, you can still tell it's darker than the other part.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Now with this part, I'm going to grab a little of this coppery gold. And I'm going to wipe it under my eye. Now when I put my powder on at the end, it's gonna wipe some of it away, but it'll leave enough there that it looks nice. Right now I do it a little bit thick because I know I'm gonna blend it. And I go right to that part of my eyelashes right here where I left off whenever I was doing the original shade. Alright.
What'd you just do?
So I added just that gold underneath. You can see where it goes from the super light to the darker one. Alright, and now I'm going to do that same thing on top of my lids. Now I have to be a little bit more careful because, you know, I've already done them, so. I make sure I get to the very corner of my eyelashes. And just smudge along the top. I'm going to give myself a little bit of dark liner in a second, but I'll do that underneath. It's without doing like a hardcore liner, you know, I've got the gold going on. But I don't have to go really dark because it's still the middle of the day, so. I don't want it to look too dark, you know, for the day. So you can see where I put the gold on top.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do the same thing on the other. I go a little bit heavier on the corners just because when I do my mascara, my eyelashes will cover up part of it. So, because they're usually thicker right at the end because I swoop them that way. Alright. Now is time for really start the liner. Find my brush. Alright, so for the eyeliner, I always go black. And I don't use like liquid or anything like that. I use eyeshadow most of the time. Occasionally I'll use actual liner, but majority of the time I go with black eyeshadow. So, eyeliner brush, you know, angled. And I do underneath. Just brush it on underneath. And I don't even do it all the way. I go to about that halfway point, halfway in between my pupil. And I go to the edge, just to have that darkness right there in my eye.
Doing it underneath your top lashes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here, I'll show you. Yep. Right there. And I'll do the same thing with the lower ones. Only I don't go that far. Go on top.
No good angle.
You see. And I'll get a little bit more and do the same thing for this one.
You're just going underneath the bottom lash now?
Well, the closest to my eye. So I did underneath the lash on the bottom, and so now I'm going over above my eye. See? You can pull your eyes out a little bit if you want to. Sorry.
So under on the overlash and over on the underlash?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I don't go the whole way. A lot of people will line the whole eye. I don't think it's necessary. Just simply because during the day, you know, you want to look more natural. So I try to blend it, make it look a little bit more natural. Now my eyelashes are something else. I care a lot about those because those are my number one thing. So I use a couple of mascaras. The first one is just to mostly get like the volume. The next one is the color. So I also have a primer. I like using two different mascaras though. My first one is L'Oreal. I've got the Feline one and I actually really like it. But it just isn't quite dark enough. So I'll put it on, separate my eyelashes out, and get a base color on there. And so, I mean, everyone just has different eyelashes, so you just have to kind of pick what's best for yours. The brush. I personally like brushes that are a little bit more full than this one, longer. But that's why this one is used as the first and not the second. I like the L'Oreal Million Lashes. That's usually the one that I use.
You do top and bottom with this one?
Mm-hmm. I start out with my tops. That way, if I do the top of this one, then while the top is drying, I can do the bottom of this one. See what I'm saying? That way I can let one side dry so I don't smudge too much. Because if you do the top and then you're like, now I do the bottom, then you're looking up and you're smudging all of that stuff on the top of your eyelid. And I like to get the whole lash, like start at the root, coat both sides. So you notice that I'll go top and bottom. When I'm doing my bottom lashes, I start by going up and then I go down. So I'll push them up with the wand and then I'll move them back down. Sorry, my hair gets in the way sometimes too. But I don't like to put my hair up when it's still drying. And it's wet from being in the shower. After this, I've been wearing the Clinique one because it's like super dark black and I love it. It's most dramatic. I'm probably gonna mess up with it, just heads up. I always sometimes I'll get a speck or two on my face, but that's why I didn't put powder on. If I leave my face still kind of moist from the foundation, then it's easier to smudge it off or wipe it off. If I put the powder on, then it's dried up, so then I have to basically get a wipe, start all over on my base, and usually takes off a bunch of eyeshadow and it's just a whole mess. So I never put on powder until I'm completely done. But I do that before my lips. So it's the same thing with this one, just, one side and the other. I find that when I use a black primer, I don't have to use as much of this to cover up the stuff, because if you use a white primer, sometimes, some people like it because it's helpful to make sure you get every lash, but if you use a black one, it's blendable more. so you can see. I combed this one out to the
Yeah,
side.
like how it's way darker.
Yep. Clinique is good stuff. I like it. I'll also notice the brush on this one. It's a brush. It's not just like a plastic wand. And those I like best for mascara brushes. Bristles. Alright, now some of my eyelashes do clump together, and that's just kind of natural. That's everyone's eyelashes. Like, we always blame it on mascara. Mascara does get clumpy, but there's always going to be a few parts that stick together. And that's why we have combs, to comb them out. And safety pins that are really dangerous, but I still do that sometimes. I'm careful.
Can you see your completed eyes?
Well, I'm not done yet. I have to do the bottom lashes.
Oh, I thought you did the bottom already.
Nope. I'm about to do the bottom now. I told you one side, then the other. See the difference? Oh, and see, I messed up. Got a little bit underneath, but just wipes right off. Because, you know, I always leave a little extra foundation there. Because I know that my eyes will mess up on them. And that's okay. You want to give yourself space to mess up. Alright. Now I'm going to put on powder and comb my lashes out. Alright.